Time check is 3 p.m. and top stories of the news at 3 this afternoon. Senate seeks military base in Adamawa over Boko Haram. Federal government plans investment in 70,000 telecom towers. And Nigeria foreign debt repayment surges by 49%. Do you love and care about River State and our peace? Let's build and take her to greater heights. This is a task we must accomplish. You can always click on the notification bell for updates on our live feeds. I am Solomon Nelson Grade. The Ministry of Health has carried out statistics on maternal, prenatal, and child death surveillance and response. It is aimed at laying emphasis on the critical need to respond to every maternal, prenatal, and child death in River State. Anna Aman reports.
A representative of the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Health, Dr. Ndubisi, said the aim of the MPCDSR program is to systematically reduce maternal, prenatal, and child mortality by addressing the underlying factors like surveillance, review, response, quality care improvement, policy and advocacy, community engagement, amongst others. On her part, the Professor of Pediatrics at the University of Port Harcourt Teaching Hospital, Professor Alice Nte, and the River State lead MPCDSR, Dr. Irorovuo Smith, stated that one of the major causes of the MPCDSR is a lack of trust among stakeholders in the health sector. This is evident in the reliance on traditional and skilled birth attendants for antenatal and baby delivery services.
Many women, even when the health facility is closest to them, refuse to register for antenatal care. Some register but refuse to deliver in the hospitals, saying that the local delivery support and assistance are good. But I always tell women that emergencies arise and within less than 15 minutes a woman is dead. So it is important for us to encourage all women to deliver in health facilities that can provide emergency services.
MPCDSR is a form of trying to get facilities and individuals, communities to identify these preventable causes so that they can restructure their strategies to deal with them.
A UNICEF representative, Dr. Ege Abi, and the National Trainer of Trainers QOC MPCDSR, Dr. Douglas Pepple, as well as the representative of the River State University Teaching Hospital, Dr. Iche Godwin, said that continuous training and on-the-job mentorship is a necessity, especially for newly employed health personnel.
We'll start by commending the state because it's not all states that are able to do this. In our field office, only Delta that has also been able to do a report like this. It shows that they want to see what is happening, what is going on with as it concerns maternal, child and neonatal deaths, and it's also a way like they can also fashion out the way forward to address those challenges.
The whole aim is to make sure that there are no unnecessary deaths for mothers, newborns, children in the country. Mothers, babies, and children in our communities die unnecessarily. So if we drive it down to the communities, we can prevent that.
As a state, we need to do more in terms of public health campaigns, educating the masses, telling them the right choices to make for pregnant mothers. We have seen the gap. That's the first step. Now the next thing is for us to go back to society and then see how to implement the measures or the steps that they've given us here today.
There are goodwill messages from UNICEF, CHAI, WHO, River State University Teaching Hospital records, question and answer session, and the official launch of the MPCDSR program for the development of a combined annual report.
Moving on now with more reports, a Director General of the International Association of World Peace Advocates, United States of America chapter, has been commissioned in Port Harcourt. He is Ambassador N. Joseph, who carried out a part of his official assignment just after his decoration. Gospel Anele was at the event and filing this report.
Performing what could be described as a mega tax responsibilities on the celebrant, International Director of the International Association of World Peace Advocates, IPA, Professor Chidi Ehirodu, said eminent peace ambassadors are volunteers committed to provide humanitarian services using their skills, time, energy, resources, and connections. He advised the Director General of the Association for the United States of America chapter to use his wealth of experience and exposure to draw more into the fold that is saddled with the responsibility of ensuring lasting peace across the world through the advocacy of good neighborliness. According to Professor Ehirodu, Ambassador Josephat was chosen on merit to make input on the advocacy of the core values of the association while admonishing members against evil practices capable of jeopardizing the values of the association.
Alongside approval from our headquarters in Denmark and United States of America, have jointly agreed with consent of each other to appoint you as the Director General of our association in America. The agreement is for a renewal period of 3 years based on your performance of the previous years. You are by this appointment expected to participate and represent us in all activities of United Nations and other international conferences, and host UN events and conferences on behalf of our association, including directing the activities of the United States of America.
Spokesman of IPA, Ambassador Emmanuel Nkweke, and the Director of the Association, Rivers State Chapter, Ambassador Julius Nwokocha, chronicled the history of the association, its importance to the society and benefits, and disclosed that there is need to enthrone lasting peace across the globe, beginning from our immediate environments. They both noted that it is important for members to use their creative ability to effect positive changes aimed at achieving desired set objectives, adding that to add value to the association, the Rivers State chapter of IPA has created women and men's separate wings to discuss issues affecting their folk and profile solutions to family problems, among other innovations.
The organization, World Peace Advocate, has been in the US for some time, for many years ago. But to find it worthy to bring Ambassador N. Joseph into this position because of the trust and confidence we have. You know that we didn't have other person in the United States of America. Yes, we do. But he's a man with a very, very, very intense profile.
The eminent peace ambassadors, the Rivers State chapter, it is a privilege to serve with all of you. You are all amazing ambassadors. We are doing great, but we need to do more. You are not a peace ambassador without humanitarian endeavors. This is just to get the world to know that peace should be part of us.
The celebrant and Director General USA Chapter, Ambassador N. Josephat, appreciated all that honored the event and members of the association who participated in one way or the other to make it a huge success, while promising to lead by example and dedicated the honor to God and humanity.
The situation is really challenging. It's not going to be easy, but we are not going to back off from anything that is difficult that is in front of us.
God's Power Anele, Rstv News.
President Bola Tinubu has said Nigeria's increasing population needs industrial solution that will transform it into demographic dividends. President Tinubu, who stated this at the Taraba International Investment Summit tagged Taravest in Jalingo, the state capital. The president, who was represented by Vice President Kashim Shettima, said the country cannot live on raw produce and unprocessed materials, but needs factories to add value, clusters to drive innovation, and industrial parks to turn ideas into impact. President Tinubu said with a projection that Nigeria will be the third most populous nation on earth by 2050, the increase will become a demographic disaster if not well harnessed. He noted that Nigeria could harness its young and virile population amid global talent deficit. The president said the highest general that Nigeria have ever earned from the process of oil was $35 billion in 2011 under former President Goodluck Jonathan. Away from that, Senate has called for immediate establishment of a military base in Hong local government area of Adamawa State following a resurgence of Boko Haram attacks in the area and other parts of the Northeast. The resolution came during plenary in a matter of urgent national importance after lawmakers debated a motion highlighting the rising insecurity in Hong and Gombe local government areas where multiple coordinated attacks by Boko Haram insurgents have left dozens dead and thousands displaced. While lawmakers commended the efforts of the Nigerian Army and other security operatives, the Senate underscored the need to reinforce existing personnel with a permanent military base in Hong to better secure the area and prevent further escalation of violence. According to the sponsor of the motion, Senator Iya Abbas, 5 major attacks have occurred in Hong local government area since February 2025. However, opposition lawmaker Senator Sarah K. Dixon raised an objection during the debate, cautioning the Senate against overstepping its constitutional boundaries by directing the establishment of a military base because such directives fall under the executive purview of the president and executive arm of government. His position was promptly countered by Senator Wasiu Eshilokun, who argued that the National Assembly was well within its rights to make such recommendations. Senator Eshilokun, citing Section 217, Subsection 2C of the Constitution, clarified that while the deployment of military base is an executive function, it is subject to the legislative input of the National Assembly. He asserted that the Senate had not breached any constitutional limits, stating that the National Assembly has no power would be a misinterpretation. Minister of Communication, Innovation and Digital Economy, Bosun Tijani, has revealed that the federal government is preparing investments in 70,000 telecommunication towers, of which over 80% of them will be based in the northern part of the country. The goal, according to him, is to close the existing connectivity gap and to make Nigeria the most inclusive digital economy in Africa where no community is left behind. The minister, who was speaking in Katsina State during the Arewa Tech Fest hosted by the state government, further announced that the 90,000 kilometers of fiber optic network aimed at connecting every corner of Nigeria remains one of the federal government's biggest investments in digital space. Tijani advised young people to showcase their innovations for investors and philanthropists to see what they can do to assist them, adding that his ministry has focused on foundational initiatives that can unlock national productivity. This is Rstv News at 3. That you love and care about River State and our peace. Let's build and take her to greater heights. This is a task we must accomplish. And in part 2 after the break, EU African Union ministries pledge to boost cooperation on peace, security, economy. And in sports, giant killers, Abakaleke dump Ikorodu out in Federation Cup. And on the entertainment scene, dropout king vocalist Adam Rami dies by suicide. These and many more when we return from the break. Stay with us.
This is Rstv international news, we bring you world-class news, accurate, first-hand, entertaining, balanced analysis. Rstv, Channel 22 Port Harcourt.
Welcome back. The federal government has disbursed 49% more on external debt servicing year on year. According to the latest international payment data by the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Nigeria spent about 2.01 billion on external debt repayment within January and April 2025, compared to the $1.33 billion recorded during the same period in 2024. Debt servicing alone accounted for 77.1% of Nigeria's total international payment within 4 months, a sharp rise from the 64.5% share recorded in the same period of 2024. In total, the country's international payment comprising debt service, remittances, and letters of credit stood at $2.60 billion as of April 2025, up from $2.07 billion recorded in the corresponding period of 2024. The development follows confirmation by the International Monetary Fund, IMF, that Nigeria had fully repaid the $3.4 billion financial support it received under the rapid financing instrument to cushion the economic impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic. In a statement on behalf of the IMF President, resident representative for Nigeria, Christian Ebeki, the fund said repayment was completed on April 30, 2025. Foreign ministers from the European Union, EU, and African Union, AU, have vowed to strengthen cooperation for peace, security, economic partnership between the two continents, stressing the urgency of moving from commitments to implementation. The pledge resulted from the third ministerial EU-AU meeting in Brussels, which the European Council said took all progress made since the last EU-AU summit in February 2022. A statement by the Deputy Chairperson of the AU Commission said both parties reaffirmed commitments to strengthen multilateralism and international cooperation, as well as preserving the integrity of international law as the foundation for a just and fair global order. The AU said both blocs also committed to strengthening economic ties, promoting integrated and resilient markets, and encouraging investments that drive inclusive growth and create opportunities across both continents. The meeting, co-chaired by the EU Foreign Affairs Chief Kaja Kallas, said, and Tete Antonio, chairperson of the AU Executive Council, comes amid a rapidly changing geopolitical context.
People don't want to leave their homes
unless they really have to. Foreign policy
and when they have to,
re-emphasized that the EU and its member states remain Africa's first and closest cooperation partners. The last time foreign ministries from both countries met, Russia had not launched a full-scale invasion of its neighbor, Ukraine. The war in Sudan had not begun, and France, a leading member of the 27-nation EU bloc, had not lost its influence in the Sahel, where its military departed from last year to Russia, forged close ties. Now, a little bit of sports news. The Nigerian National League side, Abakaliki FC, have continued their remarkable run in the 2025 President Federation Cup, booking a place in the final after edging Nigeria Premier Football League side Ikorodu City 5-4 on penalties in Abuja. Deborah Ubari tells us more on this in others.
The semi-final clash at the Warri Township Stadium ended goalless after regulation time, but Abakaliki held their nerve from the spot, confirming yet another major upset in their fairy tale journey through the competition. The South City club have stormed top flight positions at every stage for the tournament, defeating Katsina United on penalties in the round of 32 before dispatching 9-time MPFL champions Enyimba 2-0 in the round of 16. The semi-final victory over Ikorodu City has set up historical final against Kwara United, and that made their appearance for both clubs in Nigerian oldest football competition. Premier League giants Arsenal and Manchester United have received a boost in their pursuit of Victor Osimhen after multiple sources in Italy claim the Napoli-owned striker has rejected the chance to join Juventus this summer. The Nigerian forward has closed the door on a potential move to the Alliance Studio for the 2025-2026 season. 26-year-old, who netted an impressive 36 goals across competitions this season, has emerged as the old ladies' primary target for the attack, has now ordered a transfer to the Turin Giants. According to reports, Paris Saint-Germain also remained interested in Osimhen after he signed his ex-Napoli teammate Vicha Kvaratskhelia in January transfer window. Osimhen has €75 million release clause in his Napoli contract, though this is not valid for clubs within Serie A. Bruno Fernandes has offered to leave Manchester United if the club needs to cash in on him in order to rebuild after their heartbreak of their Europa League final defeat by Tottenham. United lost 1-0 in Bilbao on Wednesday courtesy of a Brennan Johnson goal, compounding a miserable season for the club. Manager Ruben Amorim said after the defeat that if the club no longer wanted him, he would quit without any conversation about compensation. The midfielder who joined United in 2020 insisted his compatriot Amorim was still the right man to lead United, despite a terrible record since arriving at Old Trafford in November. United have won just 6 league games on this watch and 16th in the Premier League, destined for their lowest finish since relegation in 1974. Germany coach Julian Nagelsmann has recalled goalkeeper Marc-Andre Ter Stegen in a heavily changed squad for upcoming Nations League semi-finals. Midfielder Jamal Musiala, defenders Antonio Rudiger and Nico Schlotterberg, and forward Kai Havertz are among the notable players to miss out due to injury. Germany's victory over Italy in the quarter-finals in March won them the right to host the remainder of the tournament.
Kobari Deborah, Rstv Sport.
Alright, just before we leave, let's look at the entertainment scene from the entertainment desk. Popular Nigerian actress Ekene Umenwa has revealed that some cabal in Nollywood once told her to trade her Christian faith for success. Serema Cholo said she made the disclosure in an Instagram post. Let's hear from Serema.
Recounting the pressure she faced from the unnamed individuals, Umenwa said she refused to compromise her faith and return to Jesus, whom she referred to as her father, for comfort. The actress became famous for her role in the 2013 movie Black Choir and has featured in over 100 films. Famous Nollywood actress Peggy Ovire has finally spoken amid rumors of a divorce from her husband, actor Frederick Leonard. Ovire, who shared a video of herself dressing for a wedding ceremony, notably without her wedding band, captioned the video "Wedding Guests Transition 101. The development further sparked speculation of crisis between the couple. However, responding to multiple opinions about her alleged divorce, Ovire in an Instagram post noted that no matter what room I step in, I'm coming in as me. Speculation about crisis between the Nollywood couple began in 2024 after Ovire shared a solo Christmas photo in pajamas. Adam Rami, lead singer of popular American rap Dropout Kings, is dead. The singer reportedly died by suicide on May 19, 2025 after a long and painful battle with addiction. Confirming his death, the GoFundMe page set up by his sister-in-law disclosed that he died by suicide and aims to raise funds for his 18-month-old son, Jude, and his wife, Jamie. Over $40,760 of the $60,000 goal has been raised by the page as of Wednesday, May 21st. Sari Macholu, Rstv Entertainment News.
This afternoon, but just before we leave, do you love and care about River State and our peace? Let's build and take her to greater heights. This is a task we must accomplish. My name is Solomon Lasubra. See you again at 7:30 World News. Stay with us.